Everyone wants to know the secret. I'm 106 years old, and not a week goes by that someone doesn't pull me aside and ask. They lower their voice like they're asking for something sacred. Romano, how do you do it? How do you live this long? How do you stay so happy?
They're waiting for me to say something about red wine, about walking every morning, about a particular soup my grandmother made. And I smile because yes, I do all of those things. Of course I do. But that's not it. That's not even close. You want the real answer? Come a little closer, because what I'm about to tell you took me 100 years to understand, and I don't want to waste it by saying it quietly. The secret is this: you choose. Every single morning you open your eyes, you choose. Joy is not something life hands you when the circumstances are right. Joy is a decision. It is something you reach for deliberately, the same way you reach for your coffee, the same way you put on your shoes. Most people never figure this out. They spend their whole lives waiting for the right moment, the right person, the right amount of money, the right version of everything, and they die in the waiting room, never called in. I stopped waiting a long time ago. I decided, and I believe with everything I have left in me, that this is why I am still here, still laughing, still grateful every morning for the simple fact of being awake. But before you think I'm talking about an easy life, let me tell you what this life has actually held. My mother died when I was 5 years old, tuberculosis. I remember her coughing. I remember the handkerchief. I remember not understanding what was happening, and then understanding all at once. My father brought me to America in 1928 with $40 and no English. I was 8 years old. We slept on the floor of a single room in Brooklyn with 6 other people. I started working beside my father at 10, making shoes until my fingers cracked and bled. My first wife, Carmela, Lord, she was the most beautiful woman I had ever seen in my life. Dark eyes, dark hair, a laugh that could fill a whole room without trying. We had 9 years together, 9 years. Then on a Tuesday afternoon in June of 1951, she went up to the roof to hang the laundry. Brain aneurysm, gone before she reached the ground. 28 years old. I was 31 with 2 small children and no idea how a man was supposed to keep going after something like that. Then in 1978, my shop burned down. 26 years of work. Everything my father and I had built together, everything I had poured my life into, gone in a single night. I stood on the sidewalk and I watched the smoke and I thought, this is it. This is the place where I give up. So don't talk to me about hard times. I know what hard times feel like from the inside. But here is what I also know, and this is the first thing I want you to write down somewhere. You'll see it. Hard times don't have to make you hard. You get to choose what they make you. That choice is yours, and nobody can take it from you. After Carmela died, I was angry. For about 6 months, I was the angriest man in all of Brooklyn. I was angry at God, at the city, at the air. I yelled at customers. I yelled at my sister. I didn't sleep. My children were frightened of me. Then one evening, my daughter, Lucia, she was maybe 5 years old. She came to me crying, and she said, "Papa, are you angry at me? Did I do something wrong?" I looked at this little girl, this child who had already lost her mother, and she thought my anger was her fault. That night, something broke open in me, and something else came through. I sat down with myself, and I said, "Romano, you have a choice. You can be angry, or you can be a father. You cannot be both." And Carmela, God keep her, she did not fall in love with an angry man. She fell in love with a man who made her laugh. So that is who I am going to be. Not because the grief is gone. It was not gone. I was sad every day for years, but I decided that sadness was not going to be the only thing my children saw from me. They were going to see their father choose to keep living. They were going to see joy alongside the sorrow, because that is what she would have wanted. That is how I honored her. Now let me tell you about Delia. I am 70 years old. I have not been with a woman in nearly 40 years. A friend from church drags me to a potluck dinner, and I go purely for the food. I'm telling you the complete truth. And across the room, I see a woman laughing. Her whole face lights up when she laughs. Her whole body gets involved. And I think that is the most alive thing I have seen in 40 years. Her name was Delia Monroe. She was 62 years old. She was a retired school teacher. She was black. And when I walked across that room to introduce myself, I am quite certain half the people in that church held their breath. An old Italian man and a black woman in 1990 Brooklyn. Madonna, the looks we got. My own son, Marco, he didn't speak to me for 2 years after I married her. 2 years. He said I was disgracing my mother's memory. He said the neighborhood was talking. You know what I told him? I said, "Marco, I love you. I will always love you. But I am 70 years old, and I have been alone for 40 of them. And I have found a woman who makes me laugh. And if the neighborhood has something to say about that, the neighborhood can find better things to do with its time." Delia and I had 33 years together. 33 years. She passed last January, in her sleep, at 95 years old. I held her hand all through the night. I miss her every single morning. But she would be furious at me if I stopped laughing. She would say, "Romano, don't you dare sit in that chair feeling sorry for yourself. We had 33 years. That is more than most people ever get." And she would be right, so I keep laughing for her. This brings me to the second thing I want you to write down. Stop living inside other people's opinions. At some point, and I hope for your sake this comes before you're 70, you realize that what other people think of your choices cannot hurt you. The only thing that can hurt you is believing them. Other people's opinions are just noise. Your life is the music. Don't let the noise drown out the music. You want to know what makes me happy now? I'll tell you exactly. Coffee in the morning, the real kind, made slowly. The light coming through the window at a particular angle in the early hours. My great-granddaughter, Sophia, she's 7. She calls me every Sunday, and she talks for 45 minutes without stopping, and I love every word. The taste of good bread, the smell after rain, a warm bed, a stranger on the street who looks up and smiles. That is the entire list. I don't need anything I don't already have. And here is the secret inside the secret. I could have been this happy at 30, at 40, at 50, but I was too busy chasing things that I thought would make me happy once I had them. Too busy worrying about what was coming. Too afraid of what I might lose. This is the third thing, the most important one. Happiness is not waiting for you at the end of something. It is not going to be there when you get the promotion, the house, the money, the relationship, the version of your life that finally looks like what you imagined. Happiness is here, right now, in the things you are walking past every single day,
without stopping to notice them. Most people spend their whole lives stepping over it on their way to somewhere else. Tonight, when you finish watching this, I want you to sit down somewhere quiet. Look around you. Find 3 things, small things, not grand things, that you are grateful for. The sound of someone you love moving around in another room. The fact that your body is breathing without you having to ask it to. The particular way the evening light looks right now through your window. Start there. Gratitude is a muscle. You have to use it every day or it weakens. But if you use it, if you choose it deliberately, your life will change. I have seen this happen. I have lived this happen. I am 106 years old. I lost my mother when I was 5. I lost Carmela when I was 31. I lost everything I built when I was 58. I lost Delia last year. By any measure, I should be the most broken man alive. But every morning I open my eyes and I say, thank you for one more day. Now, what a